Hi everyone. Today we are going to study one very important concept of grammar, which is tenses from class 10th. And I'm going to make this video especially for one of my student as requested by him, Priyam. So I hope by watching this video, and of course to others as well, those who are watching this video, I hope the concept of tenses will be clear to you by the end. So I will try to cover up all the types of tenses with one example each, and most importantly the sentence structure or the formation that will help you to understand how to frame the sentences also. Not only you will be able to solve the exercises, but you will be able to understand and frame different kind of sentences and different tenses. So let us start. So before I start, it is very important to understand what are tenses. Tenses are the words that describes in what time the action was done. For example, if I say I am preparing, or I am shooting, or I am recording a video, that means I am doing it currently. Any work that is doing in the current time will fall under the category of present tense, something that I'm doing currently. Now if I say I went to watch a movie yesterday, or even I went to the park, that means it is something which I have not done right now. This is something which I have done earlier in the past. So this sentence will fall into the category of past tense. Now if I say I will go to my office tomorrow, I will complete my work by evening. Now this is something which I am going to do. I haven't done it earlier. I am not doing it in the present, but I will do it in the future. So this kind of sentence falls into the category of future tense. So now we have understood there are three types of tenses. Number one, present tense, then future, and then past. Now, before I proceed on to these kind of tenses, because tenses also have subcategories, I will first start with the type of sentences that you can also have. So here we will discuss about majorly three types of sentences. Number one, we will start with all the tenses, okay? We will have these kind of sentences in all the tenses. For example, if I talk about present, then we will discuss about the statement that is going to be positive, okay? The sentence when you frame will be positive. Then the second sentence that you will frame will be negative, and the third sentence that you will be forming will be interrogative. So you will use all the tenses in these three kind of sentences, and I will be giving you the format and one example each. So let us start with the present. Now if I say that you have to form or you have to make a sentence which is simple present, so how you will form? Always remember, while you write a sentence, the most important part is a subject. Now subject is a doer, somebody who does an action. For example, if I say I open the gate every morning, or I record my videos through my camera. So who is the person who's doing an action? It is me. So a subject will always be a person or a term that does an action. Okay, so a sentence need to start with the subject in case of a positive statement. When you're making any positive statement, you will mention the subject. So subject will be the first thing. Then will come the verb or the action. What is the subject doing? If I say I am reading, so what is reading here? Reading is an action, and it is also a verb, because if you know, verb is doing an action. So the sentence structure will go like, first it will be the subject, then it is going to be the verb. Now I would like to introduce to a very small concept here, which is subject-verb agreement. Now what does that mean? It means that the subject and the verb, they always run with an agreement. If a subject is singular, then you will use S and ES with the verb. And if a subject is plural, then you will avoid using, you will not use S or ES with the verb. For example, the children play. The children here is the subject, and the children here, it's plural. There are more than one children. So you will not use S or ES in the verb, in the play. It will only be play because the subject is plural. However, if I say the girl reads a book, so the girl here is singular and the verb is read. So you will use S with the read. That means whenever the subject is singular, you will use S and ES, and whenever the subject is plural, you will not use S or ES. So this subject-verb agreement we will follow in all the sentences. So this subject-verb agreement will also be followed in this positive sentence. So first will be the subject, then will be the verb, and then will you use S or ES? That will be the third element of the sentence. So subject plus verb plus s/es, and then last is going to be an object. Now subject is doing an action, but for what? For example, if I say the girl is opening the door, the girl is going to be the subject. What she is doing is going to be a verb. So the girl is opening. Opening here will be the verb, and she is opening what? She is opening the door. So the door is going to be an object. Similarly, if I say the girl is reading a book, so the girl is going to be the subject, reading is going to be the verb, and book is going to be an object. So now you've understood that in present tense, you are going to use is, are, am. This is very self-explanatory. You cannot use was and were because naturally they are the past tense. So for when we talk about simple present, you will use is, are, am. So the sentence formation should go like this. It has to be the subject first, then you will use the verb, then you will use the s or es, and then the last will be the object. Examples I've already given you. Now let's talk about the negative sentences. Now in negative, we will only do a minor change, and that is going to be the subject is going to be the first thing. Then we will have not. We will use the not first before the verb. Now in the previous sentence structure, we have understood that we use s and es. But in the negative sentences, we use do or does. There is only a slight difference. So the structure will follow like this. First you will use subject. Then depending on the subject, you will use either do or does. Now again it is explanatory. Does is always used with the singular subject and do is used with the plural subject. For example, the children or the boys do not complete their work. Now there are boys, multiple people, multiple boys. So we will use do. And with the girl, she doesn't complete her work. That means she is singular. So you will keep these 2 points. Whenever you have singular subject, you will use does. Whenever you have plural subject, you will use do. So now the sentence structure will go like, first you will use the subject, then do/does, then the verb, and then the object. Again, it is going to be the same. Now if I frame a sentence, she does not read her book. So she is going to be the subject, does as usual, then read is the verb, and book is the object. Now let us discuss about the last type of sentence, again which is in the present tense, and that is interrogative. Now in interrogative, we will have a slight change. We will not have subject in the starting. क्योंकि अगर हम सब्जेक्ट को स्टार्टिंग में रखेंगे तो वो क्वेश्चन तो हो ही नहीं सकता. क्वेश्चन आप हमेशा ऐसे पूछते हो, डू यू नो माई नेम, व्हाट आर यू डूइंग. तो उस केसेस में हम कभी भी सब्जेक्ट को फर्स्ट पे नहीं रखते हैं. सो दैट इज द ओनली डिफरेंस इन द इंटेरोगेटिव सेंटेंसेस. वी विल पुट do/does in the first, then we will have subject, then we will have verb, and then we will have object. For example, do you know my name? So here, do is going to be the subject, know is going to be the verb, and name is going to be the object. Now let us understand the second kind of tense, that is itself in the present, which is present continuous. So whenever you hear the word continuous, just make it a point that you have to use ing. It is applicable for all kind of tenses, even if it is the present tense, even if it is past tense, or it is the future tense. So you have to just make sure whenever this word continuous comes into the picture, you will use ing. So now let's talk about present continuous tense. That means something which is being done right now, currently. For example, if I say I am recording a video, I am speaking. So this is the very moment when I'm doing that work. So this particular task which is being done in the current moment is called as present continuous. Something which is not still completed. I am doing it. Okay, some action that is being currently done and is still not completed. That particular work is going to fall in the tense of present continuous. Now again, you will understand how to frame this continuous tense in 3 different kind of sentences. Now if I talk about positive, so how will you write? First of all, understand the structure of the continuous tense. You will have the subject first, like we have it in the simple present also. You will have subject, then you will have is, are, or am. Okay, depending on the subject. Then you will have verb, and now you will use ing with that verb. Now verb can be run, talk, speak. So you have to use ing. That will be running, talking, speaking, eating, drinking, whatsoever. So first will be the subject, then it is going to be is RM, then it is going to be the verb, then it is going to be ing, and then it is going to be the object. She is reading a book. She is a subject here. Is, as I have told you. Then verb is read. We have used ing with it, and book is the object. We can also write another sentence if you want some extra sentences to be used. Then we can also say she is opening the door. So everything will be same. Only the door is going to be the object in place of the book, as mentioned in the previous sentence. Now when I talk about negative sentences, we will follow the same thing. Only one change is going to be there. It will be, you will use the subject first, then is RM, and then you will use not, then verb, ing, and object. As an example, she is not opening the door. She is a subject here. Is we have used, then not we have used. Open is the verb here. We have used ing. She is not opening the door. Door is going to be the object here. Now we talk about interrogative sentences. In the interrogative sentences, we will first use is RM plus subject plus verb plus ing, then plus the object. Now if I say, are they playing hockey? Okay, so are we have used as discussed. They is a subject here. Then play is the verb. We have used ing with it, and hockey is the object. Now let's proceed to the present perfect. So while we talk about present perfect tense, we have to understand it a little properly, क्योंकि दो तरह के टेंस होते हैं जिसमें काफ़ी कंफ्यूजन होता है. एक होता है प्रेजेंट परफेक्ट और एक होता है पास्ट परफेक्ट. दोनों का मतलब होता है कि काम जो है वो हो चुका है. वो वर्ड जो होता है वो उस टेंस को डिनोट करता है. वो जो टेंस है जो ऑलरेडी काम हो चुका है. इसमें कंफ्यूजन इसलिए होता है क्योंकि जो टेंस होता है वो ये डिनोट करता है कि वो जो एक्शन है वो ऑलरेडी हो चुका है. अब बहुत से स्टूडेंट्स के या बहुत से लोगों के इसमें कंफ्यूजन हो सकता है कि अगर कोई चीज़ ऑलरेडी हो चुकी है तो वो पास्ट में आनी चाहिए, तो वो प्रेजेंट कैसे हुआ. तो प्रेजेंट परफेक्ट और पास्ट परफेक्ट में बस इतना डिफरेंस होता है. प्रेजेंट परफेक्ट में वो रिसेंट पास्ट में करा हुआ काम होता है, मतलब जस्ट अभी कंप्लीट करा हुआ काम. अगर मैं बोलूँ कि मैंने अभी अपना काम कंप्लीट किया है तो इट इज़ नॉट पास्ट, इट इज़ प्रेजेंट ओनली, बट काम हो चुका है. सो दिस इज द डिफरेंस. इफ आई से आई हैव कंप्लीटेड माई वर्क, मैंने अपना काम कंप्लीट कर लिया है. सो अभी किया है, शुरू किया था और अभी खत्म कर दिया. सो दिस इज प्रेजेंट परफेक्ट. इफ आई से आई हैड कंप्लीटेड माई वर्क ऑन वेंसडे, लास्ट वीक वेंसडे, तो मतलब लास्ट वीक के वेंसडे को मेरा काम हो चुका है, तो दैट इज परफेक्ट, पास्ट परफेक्ट. सो बस ये डिफरेंस को याद रखना है कि जब भी हमको परफेक्ट में डिफ्रेंशिएट करने के लिए आएगा, वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस थिंग वेरी क्रिटिकली. अगर कोई भी रिसेंट पास्ट में काम करा हुआ है तो उसको हम प्रेजेंट परफेक्ट बोलते हैं, और अगर कोई काम बहुत टाइम पहले हो चुका है देन वी विल पुट इट एज पास्ट परफेक्ट. नाउ लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड द सेंटेंस स्ट्रक्चर. प्रेजेंट परफेक्ट में क्योंकि वो प्रेजेंट है तो हम हैज़ और हैव यूज करते हैं. हैड को हम नहीं यूज करते हैं. हैड हमेशा पास्ट में यूज होता है. सो वी विल ओनली यूज हैज़ और हैव. So again we'll form the same sentence. It is going to be subject plus has and have plus verb and then object. For example, she has written a letter. She is the subject here. Has and have, I have told you, has will be used with the singular and have will be used with the plural. Has हमेशा हम singular के साथ ही use करते हैं, have को हम plural के साथ use करते हैं. She has written. Written is the verb here. And then object is going to be a letter. अब हम इसमें एक चीज और ध्यान रखते हैं जो कि बहुत क्रूशल है. जब भी हम परफेक्ट की बात करते हैं, प्रेजेंट परफेक्ट की, तो प्रेजेंट परफेक्ट में वर्ब का जो थर्ड फॉर्म होता है हमेशा वो यूज किया जाता है. अब फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर मैं बात करूं राइट, तो हम यहाँ पे राइट अ लेटर नहीं लिख सकते. हमें राइट की थर्ड फॉर्म जो होती है उसको यूज करना होता है. राइट, रोट, रिटन. सो इसके लिए आपको वर्ड्स की तीनों फॉर्म्स पता होनी चाहिए, जो उसका वीडियो भी मैं एक अलग बना लूंगी ताकि आप रिलेट कर सको. तो जब भी हम टेंसेस की बात करते हैं, प्रेजेंट परफेक्ट की बात करते हैं, परफेक्ट जब उसमें यूज होता है तो वर्ब के हमेशा थर्ड टेंस यूज होती है, थर्ड फॉर्म यूज होती है. बट जरूरी नहीं है कि हर वर्ड की एक फॉर्म हो ही हो. कई बार एक ही वर्ड की सेम फॉर्म रहती है. जैसे अगर मैं हिट की बात करूं, पुट की बात करूं, तो इन वर्ड्स की कोई थर्ड फॉर्म नहीं होती. फर्स्ट फॉर्म भी हिट होती है, सेकंड फॉर्म भी हिट होती है और थर्ड फॉर्म भी हिट होगी. सिमिलरली फॉर पुट इट विल बी फर्स्ट फॉर्म विल बी पुट, सेकंड विल बी पुट एंड थर्ड will also be put. So you need to understand that there are certain words who have third forms, there are certain words who do not have third form. So you have to be very particular while writing. यहाँ पे जैसे हमने write की बात करी थी, तो write की 3 forms होती हैं, write, wrote and written. तो जब भी हम perfect की बात करेंगे, हम उस word की third form को use करेंगे. She has written a letter. ये रही हमारी बात पॉजिटिव की. नाउ लेट्स टॉक अबाउट द नेगेटिव. नेगेटिव में हम एक सिर्फ छोटा सा चेंज करेंगे, विच इज फर्स्ट वी विल यूज object, first we will use the subject, then we will use has and have, then we will use not, then we will use the verb and then it's going to be the object. बस इतना डिफरेंस है. जैसे हमने पहले लिखा था she has written a letter, अब हम कर देंगे she has not written a letter. सिर्फ नॉट वर्ड को हम यहाँ पे ऐड करेंगे. नाउ लेट्स टॉक अबाउट द इंटेरोगेटिव. इंटेरोगेटिव में फिर से एक डिफरेंस होता है कि हम पहले इसमें हैज और हैव को पहले रखेंगे. जैसे मैंने सिंपल प्रेजेंट में भी बताया था, कभी भी इंटेरोगेटिव में हम सब्जेक्ट को पहले पोजीशन पे नहीं रखते हैं, क्योंकि अगर सब्जेक्ट पहले पोजीशन पे आएगा तो वो क्वेश्चन नहीं बनेगा. क्वेश्चन बनाने के लिए हमें हैज और हैव को पहले रखना पड़ेगा. सो वी विल पुट हैज एंड हैव प्लस, देन वी विल हैव वर्ब, देन वी विल हैव ऑब्जेक्ट. We can use subject, we can skip the subject also. Now we will study about present perfect continuous. Talk about present perfect continuous. We know that we have to use ing here because it is continuous. We also know that we have to use has and have, which is perfect. So now we know two things, that we have to use has and have and ing because it is present perfect continuous. परफेक्ट भी है और कंटिन्यूअस भी है. बट हम इसमें एक वर्ड और यूज करते हैं, जो वर्ड होता है बीन, BEEN. सो इस सेंटेंस का स्ट्रक्चर कैसे होगा? वी विल हैव द सब्जेक्ट, देन वी विल हैव हैज एंड हैव, देन वी विल हैव बीन, देन वी विल हैव वर्ब, देन वी हैव ing एंड देन वी विल हैव द ऑब्जेक्ट. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, द गर्ल हैज बीन रीडिंग अ बुक. गर्ल इज योर सब्जेक्ट, हैज इज बिकॉज वी यूज सिंगुलर, subject is singular, so we have to use has. Been, as I told you. Reading is the verb, ing is the continuous verb, and then book is the object. Okay, now in the negative we will only transform the sentence by using not. So subject plus has and have plus been plus not plus verb plus ing and then the object. The girl has not been reading a book. Now when we talk about the interrogative sentences, we will first use has and have, then we will use the subject, most important, then been, then verb plus ing. So like if you can ask, has she been writing a letter? So has and have, then subject, then been, then verb plus ing, and the letter is the object.